Hey everybody, Lady B here. I just wanted to show you what I made for me. Yes, for me. I never ever make anything just for me. But this is a panel that I had, and I thought it would make a really cute apron. So that's what I did. Let me put you back here a little bit so you can see the whole thing. And I love it. I haven't worn it yet, but it is mine. And really what I want to show you, let me get you up here closer and aim you down a little bit. What I want to show you is I've got this laying down here as a pattern. This is what I'm getting ready to make. I had this monogrammed, and I had the other side is red with black lettering that says "Hug the Cook." So that's what I'm getting ready to make now. So I just spread this out here, and I don't usually put anything in the middle of the fabric. I'm one of those penny pinchers that go as far as one side as the other. But Shane, that did the monogramming, wanted to know where I wanted it put. So he had customers waiting and stuff. So I just held it up to me and put it right square in the center. But I will use the other fabric for other projects. I don't waste anything. But let me finish getting this pinned, and I will cut it out. And then when I get ready to do some more, I will bring you along. But we'll be back. Okay everybody, I have got all my pieces cut out for the apron. There's Kiss the Cook, there's Hug the Cook. Got those. And this is the waist ties. And they are, this is the cut size. It's 34 inches by 4 inches. These two are the neck strap. This is 4.5 inches by 4 inches. 4.5 inches by 4 inches. To spit it out. And the two D-rings that goes on that. And this is 28 inches by 4 inches. Like I said, that is what you cut it. Now, because I took all these parts off of the fabric that I had left, this is pockets that goes on the red side. Or I might do it the opposite way. I've done that before too. I don't know, we'll see. Anyhow, these are, I cut these 10 by 10. And these I cut 11 by 11. Because I had more fabric left out of the black. But anyhow, it is almost midnight, so I am going to bed. And I will get started with this in the morning. And I really wanted to have this done before July 4th. Shane at Embroidered Me, up quite a ways from me. But anyhow, it's the only embroidery place that I could find. And he's very reasonable. I'll put his website and stuff up probably at the end of the video. But if anybody's local or semi-local, you know, just drop in. Well, that's what I did. I dropped off the fabric. Told him what I wanted. I left the size and the font up to him. He had already done some shirts for me, and you'll see those later. And hats that he did for somebody too. You'll see those later. But anyhow, I think he did a wonderful job. I don't know if you can tell, but this has got just a little bit of an oriental flair. And I don't know if he did that on purpose or whether he just likes this font. But I like it. I was very pleased. Like I said, I pretty much gave him free rein. The only thing he did was tell me, or let me tell him what color the thread I wanted on what fabric and what I wanted it to say. He did everything himself. He's awesome. I like him a lot. But anyhow, I'll put that information down there, and I'll put the sizes that I've got everything cut either in the description or somewhere, so that everybody will know how they're. Yes, I'm OCD, I know. But anyhow, I'm gonna get off here and get to bed and get an early start in the morning, hopefully. But anyhow, we'll be back later to finish it. Okay, everybody, it is the next morning, and this is what I've got done. Damn fly. You all having as bad a time with flies as I am? Seems like I'm always killing them. Anyhow, I've got my front and back cut out. My pockets. This one is 11 by 11 pocket. It's what my cut fabric was. And this one was 10 by 10 because I had all those other parts that I cut out of that one. And for the pockets, all I did was iron it over about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. Then on the top, I did the 1/4 inch. Then I folded it down again. And that will give me the top. It'll give it more stability for the opening. And the same thing with the red ones. And I also marked, I don't know if you can see the markings here, but that will be the placement for my waist ties and my neckties. And let me go over here on the other side of the table. I'm not letting you see me because I'm still in my nightgown. Hey, trust me, you wouldn't want to see that. Okay, on these are the waist ties. This is the necktie. And for those, I cut those 4 inches wide. And what I did for those, if you can see it, let me turn my screen around so I can see what I'm looking at. Okay, for these, all I did was fold it. That's my 4-inch piece. All I did was fold it in half, iron this, then put the top half toward the middle, ironed it, put the bottom half toward the middle, ironed it, and folded it over, and done it again. And I don't know how much of that you can see against the red. Let me show you again. Ironed it in half, then put the top half and the bottom half toward the middle, fold it over, and iron it. That gives you 1 inch, and that's exactly what I need for the D-rings for the necktie. Okay, now I've got to bring in my sewing machine, because in there by the computer where my sewing machine is, there is not enough light to show anybody anything in there. But I'll bring the sewing machine in here and get back with you. Well, I'm back again, but it wasn't the day that I started it. I had planned on going ahead and making the video, but people had other plans for me. Anyhow, I've got to, since you can see a little bit closer now, different. This is the piece that I will attach the D-rings to. And what I did, this is 4.5 inches, or 4.5 inches this way, 4 inches this way. I folded it in half, ironed it, and then fold both sides toward the middle, and ironed it. Now all I have to do is top stitch it. what I'm going to do is top stitch the rest of them. This is part of my waist tie. And the raw ends will be tucked in the apron itself. The other end I've got folded nice and neat, if we ever get there. When I get to a corner, I always leave my needle down, turn it. Tuck that piece in there so it won't show. I'm using my finger as a guide so that I know my stitches are going in the same place. There's my little piece that goes with the D-rings. Now I'm going to go ahead and shut you off and go ahead and do the rest of these, and we'll be back. Now I've got all that top stitching done. I'm going to put on the D-rings, and all I do, if I can get them apart there, just take my little strap here, insert it in both of the D-rings, pull it out, get it even, and just make sure that they're even, and just stitch it. And yes, I went over it twice just to be sure that it was going to hold. Just a little safety measure there. Trim my threads, and there you go. And I'll show you how that works here in just a little bit. But I've already got all my top stitching done on this, on all the ties. And I did the top stitching on the top of my pockets. Now I've got to switch out my thread and do my black top stitching. And I won't keep you around for that, but I'll be back. I played around with the pockets because sometimes I put, like on this one, I would have put the black pockets on the red side and the red pockets on the black side. But I played around with them and I like them better like this, so I figured I better get these sewn on before I change my thread. Back up a little bit to lock my stitches in. And I have been sewing most of my life. I used to make custom drapes with my mom, and I'm sure some of you have heard that before. Get to the corner, leave my needle in, pivot, and before I did this I made sure that it was perfectly centered where I wanted it, even measuring. I'm definitely a perfectionist when it comes to my sewing. Well, with anything, I guess. Now on the top here, what I did, get this thread underneath here. What I did here at the top of the pocket, I didn't sew it all flat. I left just a little bit of room, scooched is that a word, scooched? Scooted, how's that? The fabric in just a tiny bit to give it a little bit of room so you'd have enough room to get your hand in there without having to struggle with it. But I'm going to get this other pocket sewn and I'll be back once again. Thought I would show you before I got it on to anything else how I make sure that the pockets are even. I measured 4.5 inches from here because the seams will be about 1/4 of an inch. So I made it about 4.5. Went to the other side, made sure it was the same. And I also, well, I put this fabric here so you could see, because you can't see black on black. But let me get rid of that. And when I did this, I even folded it in half this way. Lay it down. Whoops, make sure it's all even. Everything's got to be just right. And just kind of finger press it. And that way you'll have your guidelines. And you can see, hopefully, yep. You can see where I've got these. And I've got my pockets already top stitched along the top. And I will take them line the top along with this little crease up there. Decide how, you don't have to put it where I put it. Just put it where it's comfortable for you. But I'm making mine like, let's go a little bit wider. It'll be about 3.25 inches apart. So I will pin that and I'll get that sewn on and we'll be back after that. Okay, I've got my top stitching done on the black and the red, and I've put my sides together, right sides facing each other, and now I will put in my waist ties. And remember the marks that I made with the chalk right here? That is my line to put my waist ties. You've got to make sure that these are all tucked in so you won't end up sewing them. I put in the other side. The raw edges is what goes at the seam here so that the raw edges will not show. They'll be inside. Now I'm going to bring this up, smooth it all out. I'll repin those. And now for the neck. Really doesn't matter which side you put the D-rings on, because when you wear it on one side, it's going to be on one side, and flip it over to the other side, and it's going to be the other side. So I'm just going to put that right here for now. And this necktie here, you put the raw edge right here. Tuck this in here so that I know that I'm not sewing it. Get them pinned. Oh, I told y'all that I'd give you a hint at what my announcement is, and you all are way overthinking this. I'm not having a baby. If it was, it would be more than a miracle. And I'm surely not getting married. I thought that was funny. But anyhow, when I get ready to sew this, oh, let me get back to the hint again. You will get the hint to what the announcement is at the end of the video. So I guess you'll have to watch the whole thing. Anyhow, whenever I go to sew this part right here, let me mark it with the chalk here. That way you can see it. From here to here on this part, I will leave open. And I'll put a 1/4 inch seam, maybe a little bit more, all the way around the whole thing. And in that I will be catching all the straps on the inside. And as I go, I'll make sure everything's tucked in and I'm not going over it and sewing it. But I'm going to get on the sewing machine and I will get this done, and then we'll be back again. Now I've already stitched this all the way around, and you can see right here on the red side between my chalk markings here, I've left that open. And on your corners, clip your corners so they'll come out right nice and neat. And reach in, poke your corners in, pull everything out toward the hole down there. Told y'all I'd tell y'all what it was all about. Give you a hint. Y'all just might be disappointed in my news or announcement, or it's not as big as you think it is, but it's something anyhow. Anyhow, bring this all out. You've got all your straps on the outsides. And I've got a stray thread there. And there you go. It's all turned out. The only thing I have to do now is top stitch it. Take my little trusty chopstick there and poke out my corners, make them all nice and neat. I actually keep this chopstick in my sewing kit. Of course, you know me, I might be able to find a few more. Like a ton more maybe. Anyhow, there it is. It doesn't look too neat yet, but when I get the top stitching done, oh, one thing I did forget to do. I've got to turn it back right, or wrong side out because I forgot to clip my curves up here. That will make it lay so much better. Just take your scissors where your curve is. Just cut it not quite up to the stitch line. That will make it lay so much better. Well, let me do the other side and I'll get the top stitching done and come back and show you the finished product. And there you have it. It's all finished. Down here at the bottom where I left it open. Can't even tell it because I stitched it on the inside. And here's the top. Now I'll show you maybe how to work the D-ring over there. Like I said, maybe. Okay, let's get a little bit closer. Stick the end of the other end of the necktie. Make sure it's all straight so it's not twisted. Put it through both rings. Bring it up. And separate the rings. Put the thing through the other side. And that way you can adjust it to whatever you want. However big of a neck you want, or how, then just tuck this in behind. And I want to show you on the one that I made myself. Whoops, dropped the thread. Oh, by the way, before I forget, when you're sewing your straps in on the inside, go over them twice, double stitch it to give them strength because they're going to be pulled and tugged on. But anyhow, this one that I made me, and it's going to be hard for you to see, but this is the one with the print on one side of my horses. And I put me 2 of the full-size pockets down here, and I put another one, a smaller one, up here. That would be for my cell phone. Whatever, but anyhow, that's why I put that up here. But I couldn't do a little pocket up here because of the monogramming. But before I end this video, I will go in there on the computer and I will show you the website of the guy that I had to do this. He is semi-local, but he's the only one that I could find, and his name is Shane Day, and he's really awesome. Like I said, I gave him pretty much free reign on what to do. I just told him the colors and where to put it and what I wanted it to say, and I left the rest up to him. But I think he did an awesome job, and I'll go put his website up here in just a minute, and I'll show you the list of the cut fabrics, what you're supposed to cut the fabrics anyhow.